Sulfur is a crystal-like yellow solid found in different places such as rocks, minerals, and ocean sediments. Sulfur is extremely important to life as it is a key factor in the protein-making process. It is circulated through the biosphere in a process called the sulfur cycle. Sulfur is found in the ground in rocks and sediments which we refer to as stored sulfur. The stored sulfur eventually reaches the surface through different processes, one being the eruption of a volcano. When it reaches the air, it reacts with oxygen and becomes sulfate, SO4. Sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide are two gases that come from active volcanoes. These gases condense into clouds. When precipitation falls from these clouds, it falls as acid rain containing sulfuric acid, H2SO4. The precipitation falls into the soil and is taken up through the roots of the plants. Animals then eat these plants, transferring some of the sulfur to them. Over time, these plants and animals die and are decomposed. Over millions of years, this decay layers and is pressurized, becoming sediment again, restarting the cycle. The cycle can happen different ways when humans interfere. We have a direct impact on the sulfur cycle. The sulfur is still stored in the rocks, minerals, and ocean sediments, but is manually introduced to the atmosphere through mining and extraction, where it is converted to sulfate. In oxygen-deficient environments, insoluble metallic sulfides are often extracted or mined after specialized bacteria convert the sulfate to sulfide ions and they react with metal ions. The sulfur extracted and mined from the rocks and minerals are then used by factories for burning coal, refining fossil fuels, and smelting, which is the process of extracting metal from its ore through heating and melting. The gases produced from these condense into clouds, which again produce acid rain and continues the natural cycle. Factories are not the only human interference with the cycle. Automobiles also contribute by releasing sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, and the process continues with the steps that were explained previously. The sulfur cycle can also be seen in ocean environments. It begins with sulfur stored in sediments below the ocean as sulfate. Through processes explained previously, acid rain falls from the clouds. This rain causes runoff into streams, lakes, and eventually the ocean. Over time, organisms in the ocean die and decompose, releasing sulfur into the water and becoming sediments over millions of years after being layered on top of each other. Some of the particles of sulfate in the sediment and water enter the atmosphere from sea spray as ammonium sulfate. Another major gas emitted from the sea is dimethyl sulfide. This is produced as a bacterial byproduct when dying phytoplankton cells are decomposed. From here, the particles condense again into clouds and the cycle continues.